Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, along here with Beau and Nash to discuss Succession, Season 3, Episode 4, Lion in the Meadow.
Off the top of your head, you definitely didn't read that off your phone.
It's double entendre,
Succession, Episode 4, Season 3.
Season 3, Episode 4.
Tiger.
You know there's only 7 episodes this season?
No, I didn't know that.
That threw me for a loop.
I kind of like it, though.
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, it's not stretched out. They're going to fucking just keep pushing these out for the next 3 episodes. They're going to be jam-packed, but, like, it just started. It felt like a week ago. Really 4 weeks ago, but it felt like a week.
They're pressing square in MLB.
Wikipedia says 9.
Oh, well, I heard 7 from some... I don't know where I heard 7, but I heard 7.
From Teddy. He hasn't even watched Season 1.
Yeah, Teddy just texts me misinformation all day, just to fuck with me.
I wish he was that smart. Very clever misinformation.
Yeah.
Hey, Succession's ending.
Things I wouldn't even be like, oh, wow.
Right.
That's crazy. Succession. Let's get back on that train. This, again, was another, I think, a fantastic episode. When you look at these first 4 episodes and just how much they're able to fit in these episodes, talk about, like, how long the season is, but what they're able to put in each individual episode, I felt has been incredible, especially, like, making it still not feel rushed and forced and everything. Everything's played out very organically over these last 4, and it just seems like again and again and again, they just keep shuffling the deck, where last week I was saying that, Shiv and Kendall, their relationship's over. Like, they're never can be on the same side. Kendall even says that in the beginning when they have that telephone call. But by the end of this episode, when Shiv yet again gets fucking disrespected by her father or misled and gaslit, you can see like a look in her eyes and you can like start to imagine she might go to Kendall now. And they can reconcile.
He is such an asshole. In the beginning of the episode, he's like, do this for me. And she does it. And he's like, you need to back off. I told you, I can present you a path, but it's up to you to take it.
I keep forgetting just how fucked up these people are, where, like, normal things, yes, normally going public with your brother's deepest, secrets and, like, darkest moments, that's, pretty, there's no mending that bridge.
I know,
but
in this
with
episode,
these people,
she's
like, come back, get over here, sis. Let's kill our father.
The way he said it, he's like, yeah, I don't know if we come back from that. She's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Move on to the next topic at hand.
It just goes to show, too, like how, when she was making fun of Roman about the whole jerking off thing, she didn't even know that was a big, that's huge.
He was going to the bathroom, okay?
Yeah.
He was already leaving the room.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so.
But that was fucked up. Yeah, that's where Roman is probably his most vulnerable because that's a big issue. It's funny for us, it's funny for them, for the audience, but it is like a psychological issue that he has here. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, and it's like this family doesn't know the line.
Back in and no, they don't. There is no line. Yeah, essentially, unless they actually killed each other. I think that would be.
And I honestly think
like they would make a joke out of it. I mean, they basically do joke about like basically killing Logan.
I could picture
like in this episode.
That was
in the
funny
casket,
as hell, though.
And Roman just going to kind of like, oh, you finally did it, huh? Just move on.
Yeah,
but yeah, like.
And then Logan awakens from the casket. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. That was such a
That's
funny.
Logan's music. What's Logan doing here?
You just hear the Succession theme. When Roman at the end is like, "You tried to kill our father with the sun." It's just such a funny line of dialogue.
Yeah,
there's so many good lines here. The screenshots that you can take are so good.
It's so funny, especially the Tom one going around. It has to be like the most romantic thing I ever heard in my life.
When he said he'd castrate him and marry him.
Yes.
Poor Greg, so uncomfortable in that situation. How the tables have turned, right? Greg came in as the unestablished rookie. Tom was bullying him. But Tom's like, let's game this out. Let's game out your argument. And he's like, oh, it seems like you've already gamed it out.
Yeah.
Tom he is in a state of depression.
He's walking on that line of a nervous breakdown.
And it's so funny, man. Like him, like, oh, I just got caught down the prison blog rabbit hole. And I was researching how to ferment wine. Yeah.
Toilet wine.
He's like, but if I forget to ferment the burped wine.
Breaking it down like it's a fine wine, but it's prison,
Right. He's like,
water.
And then you can't have chilled wine in jail. There's no temperature.
To speak on that with the whole Greg and Tom scenario or situation.
That was one of the funniest scenes of the show ever.
I like how we're starting with Greg. Past 3 episodes, we ended with Greg.
He's great.
We got to get into the Greg business.
This was
the craziest episode between Logan and Kendall. Let's start with Greg. Chugging rum and cokes and...
But the
Well,
thing
that's
is,
the genius of the show. Sorry to keep cutting you off,
No, it's
Nash. Is
okay.
that the main focus is Logan and Kendall, but all the other stuff, all the B plot lines and the C plot lines are still. It's not like you're not asking them to go back to Kendall and Logan. Like when you're watching the scene with Roman and the tattoo guy. Just so fucking funny. Like, I couldn't stop laughing of him. Like, when he brings Hugo over and you know exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, can you still see the letters?
it's awesome too because you're actually segueing me because this episode was one of the most, if not the most awkward, uncomfortable episodes of any show I've ever watched. But it was so, like, it was such a good uncomfortable. Like, the acting was phenomenal. From that scene of a homeless guy getting a tattoo on his forehead and they're examining it, trying to just pull out a K or a R there, like from the whole Greg and Tom situation, from Logan and Kendall sitting there and not saying a word twice, to now the new character that's come in, who's played by Adrian Brody, and Josh. I mean, he's basically just trying to dissect both of them and trying to get them to, hey, it's my fucking money. I want you to work this together. And then he ends up playing them, So the whole thing was just so uncomfortable. The scenes, the acting was incredible. And this episode, it's probably one of the top 5. The show just keeps getting better and better.
Those moments between Logan and Kendall, when they're sharing the silence the first time, when Josh walks out of the room, and you watch Jeremy Strong, the acting that he's doing there is phenomenal. The hesitations, the turning of the body, pulling back, the contemplation, realizing that there is nothing to be said between these two people. And the second time as well. But with Brody's character, Josh Aronson, he really did lead them into a trap. And like you said, he's trying to dissect the situation, see if there's something to salvage here, if they could still work together. But at the end of the day, man, like he said, he got King Kong to come out and dance with him, and he put him on skates. He proved he basically got him to show not his hand, but the fact that this is an aging leader and CEO. So with the dysfunction between him and Kendall, maybe if something happens to him, it's over. Whereas Sandy and Stewie just keep going strong. That shot at the end of Josh and Stewie on the tarmac. They're just, hey, brother, happy to see you. And Kendall's all sad looking.
They're
from
hanging
the window.
on the rim. It kind of looks like they're,
Right. Yeah. But so many great moments to talk about in this episode when Logan has to basically lie about Kendall to Josh, but you don't know if he's lying. Maybe there's a part of Logan that feels that this is true, that maybe Kendall doing this, like we said, the smile at the end of season 2, maybe he genuinely likes this new Kendall, and this is just his last fight, but maybe he does have some faith in Kendall's ability to move forward. But the way they try and sabotage each other points to the other direction.
Yeah.
That it is all just bullshit. But it just goes to show Brian Cox, incredible actor, to be able to deliver that scene and those lines of dialogue.
Yeah, that was like one of the more anxiety-inducing moments, I think. I don't know, that I've seen from this show as a whole. Like just him walking through the, I guess what we'd call them, the dunes.
Yeah, dunes, trails.
Obviously he needs help, and just Brody keep going so far ahead, saying, "Oh, you good, and he keeps saying yes. That stubbornness that he holds, and even at the end of it, when he finally does break down and can't move anymore, and Kendall's right away, just his first thing he could think about is we're still good though, right? And he even remarks on it, it's Jesus Christ, worry about your dad for a second here. And just the way he kind of just systematically broke them down to get the real answer that he wanted, because you could say anything in those meetings and bullshit your way through anything. Logan's been doing it his whole life, Kendall's been doing it his whole life, he's probably been doing it his whole life, everyone in this business has. So it's maybe a little extreme, but to really get down to it, what did he have into it? He said $300 million.
I think it was 350.
No, that's how much he's lost.
That's how much he's lost.
So that's 10% of his 4%. So you imagine he's got over $1 billion invested in this company.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I thought he only had 350 invested in, but yeah, he lost that. Okay.
Yeah, Logan tries to give him the whole, we'll make you whole. Sit tight, count your coppers. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that anymore, old man. Have you seen the last 2 seasons? This shit is not shaking up in your favor.
Yeah.
He was delightful as a supporting character. Just
Brody?
I was curious to see how they would use a big name like Brody and still Skarsgård.
Shit.
No, he's worth. He's supposed to be like a
saying the company, it's a big company.
It's a big ass company.
And then Logan kind of takes a jab at him a little bit and says, "Oh, you're a little far from the bagels and coffee here on your fancy beach house."
Right, and they touched on that a bit in this episode, and with Connor as well. that like the anti-Semitism and of course the racism that has been, present throughout this company for how many decades.
Well, yeah, so. I've noticed like the past few episodes, like they've always had like little snide remarks, but it's been very like not on the nose, but like more apparent, or even like the words that they are saying are even more like whoa.
Yes.
Like, easy there, Logan. But, like, a lot of that's coming out. That could just be, like, a way to show him getting older and kind of losing touch and not being able to, even though maybe he still holds some of his old school ideals, but he can't even control it. He can't even, like, he can say anything at any time and just really railroad everything. So... yeah, just to show in that sense him kind of maybe losing it a little, but just physically as well. This really is a man who, it's King Kong, but he's getting shot at right now.
Yeah, somebody posted a picture of Shaq on the Celtics, and they were like Logan Roy in season 3. He's huffing and puffing. He could still dominate. He's still Shaq Diesel, but...
it ain't the same.
It's not the same.
I got a just real side note here. Adrian Brody did say something about King Kong, right?
Yes, no, he did. He calls him King Kong.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're doing
yeah,
something.
Hell
they're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something with Grandpa saying,
They definitely are.
They're definitely doing something. Big Gramps in the big city. Then that will do. Now Adrian Brody saying something about King Kong.
Well, the writers, you could tell that they like
so
those
smart.
meta references. It's not like Ted Lasso where it's just pop culture references, but it's things. It's cool Easter eggs.
Yeah,
and you've been good with catching those. Yeah, I forgot Brody was in King Kong. Good movie.
Yeah, that's pretty
Brian
good. Jack
Cox
Black
neck
was great.
episode.
You love that final
This reminds
fight.
me of Troy. When I was in Troy.
Skarsgård's gonna be like, damn, this jungle out here. I feel like Tarzan.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wink,
Blood.
wink. Right. Oh god.
Just stares into the camera
True
like Jim
blood.
Halpert.
It's so petty though, the back and forth between Logan and Kendall when Logan pulls up and says, no, I'm going to take his helicopter, and then Kendall decides to go ahead when they were going to convene on the tarmac and says, tell him meet from Roadrunner. So the back and forth that they have,
Such a great line.
it's always moving so fast too. The plans that these characters have, they're never given the pure spotlight like in other shows, and I've made this point before, like when Kendall believes that he's being sabotaged, it's like, was he or was he not? Well, it could be seen that way, or maybe it wasn't. Everything is so free-flowing in this show. So I think that's why Shiv keeps getting caught with shit on her face, is because she doesn't realize...
like egg on your face, but you want to go shit.
I'm going straight shit because she's been a shit face.
Yeah.
Is that things...
From every angle.
Things are constantly changing in this world, and she's not able to adapt to that, which is strange.
I've never heard somebody call somebody a shit face before. I love it.
Shiv the shit face.
So we always talk about like how she's probably the most competent, but she just finds herself in these
Not
situations.
At this point, it has to be Kendall.
Right, but like it's just...
And now Connor's putting his nuts on the table too a little bit, huh?
Everyone.
Well, when Connor's coming for blood, that's when you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you're Logan and Connor is out here pulling for shit, we'll give you the Food Network, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, it was so
wine
funny
tasting
going
show?
back to like people like trying to assess their value and their worth and what they can get out of the situation. Greg trying to play hardball with Logan and just immediately letting up a fucking grand slam was hilarious.
Yeah.
Such a good scene.
He's like, I'm going to blow him away with this 99 mile per hour heat, and fucking Logan bat flipped on him. It's just so fun. Like, even though, like you said, like even though like he doesn't need Tom anymore, he can kind of like pick which way he wants to go. He still is just such a neophyte when it comes to the business world, and it's just
that
on
man's
full
always got
display,
the yips,
especially against Logan. Maybe he could skate by with other people, but he kind of screwed over Kendall there when they said in the beginning. Like Kendall was kind of like, "Hey, we're good here, right?" And
sturdy birdie.
sturdy
birdie. That was such a great little 1-2 there. When he's calling him a chicken and all that. All right, get out there, Big Bird. You know,
I love them together, so that's why I want Greg on Team Kendall. Kendall was always the nicest to Greg.
Yeah. Except for the whole watch situation, but other than that,
The show is so fucking funny.
yeah.
When he asked for a rum and Coke, he's so cute. I was like, can you get Greg a Coke?
My favorite Kendall and Greg.
Should I chug this?
Favorite
I'll chug it.
I could chug it.
Favorite Kendall and Greg is when he gets him the Coke. And you're like, this is the worst Coke I ever got. It's like, where'd you get it from? It's like some guy in Central Park. So you gave me Central Park Coke. So I'm gonna return it if you want. It's like, what? They give you a fucking receipt?
That was very funny.
But yeah, people like within the family too. Like maybe first episode, second episode, you kind of maybe had a sense that, especially in the second episode, once Logan regathers that, and everyone kind of picked his side, that all right, he's got his finger on the pulse here. He's in a position of strength again. But with everybody's willingness to kind of try to like they see an opening here. Like you said, even Connor sees an opening. And I think right now it's really anyone's game as far as who sides with who, or even who ends up in a better position than they were.
Yeah, and it's great for the writing that Kendall officially is still an employee. So you can have moments like we had in this episode where they have to work together, where at the end of the day, it's still your company. It's the family company. So it's better to have one of the other in control rather than a Sandy and Stewie. So they have to, I mean, it's, you said you wanted it, the moment of Kendall and Logan in a room together. And what are they going to say? What are they going to do? It's like, how about we have them do nothing?
I think Logan is in, like, at the end of the day, he might have lost a little bit, but like he knows the situation and he knows what's appropriate and how he has to act in this meeting. So he could put that aside, and maybe there was some truth to that, but I want to see them in a room just like hashing it out. Like not in a situation where they have to be on their best behavior in order to get what they both need. Because like they said, like Kendall, at the end of the day, he needs the shareholders meeting to go their way. At the same time, he also needs to try to shift power from his father to himself. So that's a tough situation.
Yeah, he was trying to, warm up to Josh. It's so funny, though, the way people still dismiss Kendall for Logan. He's trying to tell Josh, hey, we're going to go in this direction. We're going to buy this great UI, put our content on it. And then as soon as Logan walks in, it's like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Go get a Pop-Tart.
Right.
Yeah, daddy's home.
Well, it happens every time Kendall tries to explain his vision.
It's not terrible, actually. UI, man, great UI.
But
it's
no
hard
one
to get
cares
a great
about
UI.
that.
We don't know what Brody's going to do. I think that could be an interesting flip if later in the season, like they build it where Kendall's on the, back to the wall, and then Brody says, let's do it.
I mean, obviously they care.
It's set up there.
Obviously they care about like where the company's going, but the main thing is just the relationship and how you can build that between the two. Kendall could spew out the best idea of all time. He's still gonna. Logan walks in that house. He's gonna go straight for Logan. Yeah, but that's just the way it works.
What's gonna stop Josh from pulling the rug under from Sandy and Stewie too? I mean, you saw it. This might be another setup for them too.
Josh has he's like the Joe Manchin right now. The situation. He's got the grenade here. And he can toss it. He's got his finger on the button. He can toss it in either direction.
And he knows it, too. He absolutely knows it.
But he doesn't seem like his character, like they're all pricks and they're all arrogant. But it doesn't seem like he's getting any joy out of it, that he has this power, that there's a genuine concern here, like I've lost all this money. Who's going to be the person to help me get it back? So it definitely puts the Roy family in an interesting dilemma here, where maybe they have to work together again. But we will see.
Yeah, well, that was the question I was going to ask. It's probably going to come down to Kendall and Logan having to team up at one point, right? They're going to have to.
That would be such a brilliant kind of way to end this season, if that's in the direction that they're headed.
And then
right?
just use Shiv as the puppet.
It's instead. Like Kendall had to become. That would be so fucked up, though, if Logan sees in Kendall finally the killer that he always wanted, and he's like, "Come here."
Yeah, yeah, and then Shiv will just
you run the company. You run the company. Yeah, poor Shiv.
And then you know what? Shiv would probably turn to Tom and then be like, "No, Tom, you got to take the fall for me." Oh man, there's so many ways this can go.
I feel so like. We talked about in the earlier seasons, it's very evident that Tom kind of, as much as he maybe knows some of the finer detail, like compared to let's say a Greg of the business, he really just had no idea what he was getting into in the beginning. It's like, I'll just marry into the Roy family. This should be pleasant. But he is just getting bombarded from every direction, and you really can't trust Shiv. And I don't think he does either. I think he's just in a place where he's kind of just trying to make the best out of a terrible situation. And even that, what is that? Go to jail? And I don't think...
You know what, though? Those white-collar crimes, it is very funny. A couple years, good behavior, they get out in 9 months.
Yeah, because usually they have a lot of money. So when you're getting involved,
And those crimes, you never get 10, 20 years unless it's you're Madoff,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Tom ain't Madoff. No offense.
But other than that, you're not going to do that much,
It's the classic cautionary tale, and we see it all the time in the real world too. These people that marry into families, or they do dubious things in order to establish relationships with richer people or more powerful people, and then it comes to bite them in the ass. And that's that's the situation Tom's in. It goes back to season 1 when he had that. I forget what Kendall called it, but basically the bomb put in his lap that he had to deal with, and now it's about to explode.
And we have Roman too. He getting a little jealous there of old Jerry going out on some dates. Yeah. He might be in the best position though, if you really think about it. Like, we see where he is firmly on, like, whether it's Logan or even if he wants to do something with Jerry, he can. Like, he's like, so you don't expect it from him, which probably could make him, like, even more dangerous when it comes to a lot of the scenarios that can play out. But, yeah, I think he's actually, like, in probably one of the better positions. And it wasn't really, like, as far as positioning goes, he didn't really have a major episode, but, you could take a little step back and have him go on this little side plot line where you bring in some humor. But I think that relationship with Jerry can prove to be something more than just him in a bathroom with her talking dirty to him. I think, like, maybe if it's not anything substantial as terms as like a physical relationship, but just the bond that they have and them using each other for them both to get out on top somehow. Whether it goes to Logan, whether it goes Kendall, or even if it goes Sandy and Stewie.
That's going to get physical at one point.
He's getting from Jerry, and it as fucked up as it is, but it is that dynamic that a child and a parent have.
Are you going with the Freud? Sigmund Freud here?
No, because it's way more not physical. It is emotional.
Because he never really had a mommy in his life, so maybe he's looking
or
up
a daddy.
Well, Daddy was kind of around,
just
not
someone
physically.
That you could, right.
I mean, meant emotionally.
Jerry's like his mommy daddy.
Someone that could tell you
a mommy daddy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jerry fits that role nicely. I think
she's able good advice. She leads him in the right direction. She helps him along, and helps him nut.
There's nothing Jerry really can't do. There's a meme, another meme on Twitter. Season 3 Jerry was LeBron, and there's like no help.
Like Cavs LeBron?
Yeah, she's Cavs LeBron. She's trying to pull things together. That the conference call in the beginning too, Little Lord Fuck Leroy was very funny.
I was dying at Roman like fake laughing. He's like,
he slaps his knee.
Conference call jokes are just the best,
Roman is the funniest character in the show,
he
man.
is.
And he's like to the homeless dude. So I don't want to get like too monetarily, but what's the price?
What's the price? $1 million? $1 million? I'll just say $1 million.
It's like, yeah, but what's the number?
How much money would it take for you to get a tattoo on your forehead like that?
Of what? The initials?
Of my initials. AJQN.
Do I have to keep it, or can I get it removed?
I mean, the whole point of it is to keep it, but yeah, sure. You could do what the homeless guy did.
I don't think...
Trillions.
Trillions?
I don't think I could do it.
You're the world's first trillionaire, fine.
How rich would you have to be for people not to notice the thing on your head?
Trillionaire.
Yeah.
And I would say it stands for something...
And they would still like... Yeah, AJN.
Don't forget the Q.
No words start with Q. I don't know. What?
Queen?
I don't know.
We'll give you some time.
I'd have to get some hats. I'd just have to be a hat guy. Or just bangs. I'd have to rock bangs.
Yeah, that's what that guy was doing.
Yeah, that's what he did. And you could see that he's still used to it because it's gone.
So if you put it that way, $1 billion and I'm just a bang guy for the rest of my life, still.
I think that's way... Did they ever say how much money they gave that homeless guy? Or did he just do that just for publicity?
Oh, no, he definitely got a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, north of $1 million. That was the offer.
You wouldn't do like $5 million to get a tattoo on your head?
No, well, if I was in his situation, I definitely would have countered with
If I could pick the
10.
tattoo, sure, we could start talking, but not just in random initials. Like a Nike swoosh.
A Nike swoosh on your forehead?
Trillions.
It would take that much for you to get my initials on your forehead.
I want to be top 10 GDPs in the world. Like it's U.S., China, Germany, Reuben, South Korea.
I think that...
No. What did you guys think about that scene with Shiv and Ravenhead? That's a kind of a win.
Oh, yeah.
When she strong arms him.
Yeah, she kind of, but she had to put her balls on somebody's forehead. I mean, she's been getting her ass kicked.
I'd rather...
she just took it out on him.
I'd rather have your balls on my forehead than your initials.
I can't believe... you guys are totally overselling that. I'm thinking about doing it for a cool meal.
I think you'd pay us to do it.
Yeah, and how about Twitter handle? Can I do Twitter
Like, I'll
handle?
give you- that's the next bet.
Anthony JQ Nash.
That's the next bet we make. Loser has to get the initials tattooed on
Tattooed.
someone's forehead.
Nerd soup tattoo.
I would
yeah.
definitely do a bet. Sorry to cut you off. I'd do a bet if I lost, get the Nerd 2 logo somewhere on my body.
People have always wanted us to do that for some reason.
Let's do it. Me and Teddy. Let's get into a bet somehow. I don't know.
None of us have tattoos.
We'll figure
do we?
out one.
No. I have my nose pierced, but that's about it. What's up, dogs?
Completely different.
Nash once said that he wouldn't put a tattoo on his body because you don't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley.
You know who said that?
Oh.
Kim Kardashian. It's my role model.
Wow, I kind of respect her for that.
Well, it's actually a good transition, Kim Kardashian to Shiv. She is, I don't know, she's in a position this episode where, like we said, that nothing she can do seems to be right. And it's been like that for a while. She's always getting played with, and I'm just waiting for her to finally just break apart and kind of do her own thing. Maybe not to the extent of like what Kendall did, but she really is in a position where like nothing she really can't win. Even though she keeps getting these positions and promises, nothing is really set in stone for her.
Does he do anything for her after the Ravenhead thing? Because it seems like they got the president's attention at the end. Will that help? Or probably not?
I don't know, because like they went into the whole thing with journalistic integrity and editorial. Like he has a say on all of that. But obviously, Logan kind of disregards the president and puts. I thought that was hilarious. Like, want to hear the president and have a meltdown.
Well, it's so funny too when he was in season 2 when he's trying to convince Pierce that he has nothing to do with the network's politics. And then in this episode, they're like, yeah, Ravenhead only talks editorial notes with Sid and Logan. Like, clearly showing he directly influences his anchors and pundits. He's such a...
That's a good catch right there.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that.
He is... He's good.
I mean, they're going to pay him $20 million a year at the...
30.
30
oh,
million
yeah, $30 million a year at the White Pride FM or something like that.
So it's not even going to matter anyway, because if Shiv, let's say, Shiv did get the president's attention, he'll be like, "Are you sure I got the president's attention before this? Fuck off." And then before, I mean, if it goes south, he's gonna be like, "Look what you fucking did. Fuck off." So it's gonna. Shiv is fucked. Shiv is just right in the middle between the common quote, hard rock and a rock in a hard place.
The Rock is also hard.
In between the Hard Rock Cafe and the Rock, Dwayne Johnson. That would be a fun place to be.
Have to wiggle out of that. Wouldn't mind it.
I might just stay right there.
I'm content.
Yeah, you know what?
I like it here.
I won.
This is how I win.
Yeah, so I think Shiv is definitely...
Did you guys watch the next episode preview? I didn't.
I did not either. Why don't they show that on HBO Max?
I thought they
you
did.
can. It's like in a separate window.
Oh, yeah. It's a different video.
Did not, so
That's
I apologize. I did not know that.
I'm trying to think if there's any moments. It was a funny-ass moment that we didn't mention from last episode when Kendall thinks they hacked his AC.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, this feels like 65, 62.
Yep, hacked my AC.
And she's like, oh, it doesn't feel it. And the guy is like, yeah, no, it feels a little chilly in here. Such good writing, man. The writing for this season, 4 episodes, it's some of the best writing I've ever seen for a show.
That's why every episode keeps getting better and better. And I was actually just telling a friend today that you got to get on this season because he's watched the first 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what
a binge he's got in front of him.
Yeah.
These
and
first
I gave
4.
now I feel like a head honcho. I'm like, I use my HBO Max now that I got it.
God.
I got Hulu now. I got HBO Max. I got Netflix. I got all that stuff. Next up is going to be probably...
Little Peacock?
Maybe. Or Apple TV.
Watch some soccer games?
Maybe. No.
Apple TV is not bad.
I would like to start that show. I guess I'm not going to get off topic.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Is there anything else we have to talk about, or should we wrap this up?
Let's see.
Frank might have saved the day, by the way. He was the one that made the call to Kendall, correct? Or am I just making things up?
Yes, no, Frank. Yeah.
Frank might have saved the day there.
They have that relationship. There's a trust between Kendall and Frank, so maybe that would have been the better option.
But even like Frank and Carl, just having like not being swayed at all by Shiv, just basically,
I know it's such a
not having any respect for her at all.
It just goes to show, like you said, all these promises. She's still seen as an outsider to a lot of them. She doesn't have that respect, and a lot of it does have to do with the fact that I think her being a woman. Like you have in episode 3 where Hugo's like, oh, I always wanted it to be you. And then you have that debacle of a press conference, and it's like you see how alone she truly is. Everyone, you could say anything you want, but it's starting to feel like Shiv's position is just as much of a protection for Logan as Jerry's is.
Yeah. Well, even Jerry...
she's just set up to fail.
It's very much the same thing with Jerry and Logan. Jerry has sound, good advice. Logan refuses to answer. And when he finally does, he makes it seem like it's his idea. Like...
He's good at that.
Yeah, or just like someone has a good idea if it's not his. They're not. He did it with Kendall too. That's just Logan. He thinks he's better than everybody.
Logan turned around to Shiv about Frank, was like, he's a smart prick or a smart bastard, but he just likes to be liked by everybody. Yeah. Make sure that, you take care.
And then she does it, and then he's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to win in this world.
Yeah.
It really is.
Especially for her. And, to touch up on a female's position, and as powerful as it is, it just goes to show that it's just fucking unfair and cruel.
Well, there was a great point someone made after episode 3 about something that's called the glass cliff. And it's a theory that women are usually promoted to positions of power when they're set up to fail. And they had that shot of Shiv walking down the lonely hallway, and you just see the glass and the sky, the skyline of the city. And then she walks into that room and it becomes an office. So maybe that's how she ends up on Kendall's side, because he will treat her not as an equal, but he'll way more fairly than Logan ever has.
And then they might have to do something where, how does Shiv backtrack those comments? If she ends up getting with Kendall, like getting back with Kendall, like...
Sorry, and I'm on your side now, and that's enough for us to take down...
I just slit your throat, but you lived through it, and now I feel bad.
Yeah, but I patched you up, and... Now we're in a better position.
Yeah, Kendall goes to rehab, some public shots with his family at Disney World. They'll patch that up. You can patch that up.
He's a terrible father, though.
Yeah. He doesn't even remember his kid's name.
Yeah,
he named his kid Iverson, which is Kendall is such a millennial.
Yeah.
That man had an Iverson poster in his room growing up.
He was pissed.
Respect the fuck out of him for that.
Yeah. He's pissed when Post Malone made that song. He's like, I'm White Iverson.
L to the OG is a genuinely good rap song.
L to the OG?
That hook is fucking... That's one of the best rap hooks I've heard in decades.
See, that would have been a great costume for Halloween. Fuck, man. Oh, I dropped the ball.
All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
But again, I feel like I say this at least every week, that it just continually gets shuffled up and we don't think we have a sense, and then next week something else is going to happen and everything's going to be, it's not even like they're playing chess anymore. It's like somebody got frustrated with the game and flipped the board over. And now you're trying to be like, wait, was I here?
Yeah, picking up the pieces.
I was here. My rook was at... As fun as it is to try to see what's going on, I'm just going to let it happen and I'll just witness it as it happens, because... I really as far as what's coming, I don't know who's going to be on whose side. The shareholders meeting episode is going to be fucking electric.
Oh yeah, that's going to be so
intense.
It's
going to be, you're going to have all these characters in one room, or in, maybe not in one room, but all invested and honed in on one situation, and just to see where everything kind of is after that moment is going to be, I don't know. I think it's going to be probably one of the better, if not the best, episodes or moments in television in the past decade.
Yeah. I mean, this alone, from talking about iconic, GIFs and screenshots that you could take from just this episode alone is phenomenal.
I know. I'm holding so many.
I'm holding Aaron's hand with that comment there, which it just keeps getting better and better. This is probably, I said it last week that was probably one of the better episodes of the show. I mean, it beat this week, beat it. It's just so many iconic moments, from the awkwardness to now you're really starting to see desperation, things breaking down. So, God, if it can get any better than this show is going to go down in fucking the Mount Rushmore.
I know a lot of critics got access to the first 7 episodes, and they said, hey, the first 7 were all great, that it was the best content that they've produced yet. So I think we're definitely in store for one of the greatest seasons of television. And
so
they haven't been wrong. We're halfway through, so
that's where the 7 came from.
Yeah,
maybe that's where the mix-up was. Okay.
Yeah, Wikipedia says 9. Maybe they'll go 10. Who knows? Hopefully they do.
I'm tired of the bad rap Wikipedia gets.
Yeah, Wikipedia sometimes is ahead
of... Wikipedia is always, it's rarely wrong.
But people they're like, anyone can edit it. It's like,
So they edited it for good.
but they edit it back if you put in bullshit.
Yeah, when I was young.
And it's like any website is edited by somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
so
it's
you
a
could
great
just
point.
trust any other website?
It's not like you look something up. Oh, but I found it's on Wikipedia, though. So it's 100% correct.
That's like the daylight savings of the internet. It's just something that was said once, and we all just assume it's something that's true, you know?
No, but
Like
Wikipedia helped me graduate from college. Daylight savings is ruining my life.
You might just lose your degree right there.
Why? Damn, we were making some good points in that video. Hey guys, Aaron and Nerd Soup Monkey here. Before we end this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. What can I say about you guys that I haven't already said about myself? You are the most important part of the channel and the main reason we keep going strong. Like Beau says, you keep the lights on in the fridge so the fridge is full. Or something like that. So, from everyone here at Nerd Soup, I'd like to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're interested in joining the ranks of our Patreon supporters, head over to patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out the rewards we offer to our patrons. We recently dropped some new stickers for you guys to check out, or you could choose a tier that will allow you to select a movie, show, or video game for us to review. We've got a full slate of fan-suggested reviews coming your way, and we're really excited about the chance to review some of those movies and shows. We've also got t-shirts, mugs, behind-the-scenes videos showing how we bring our videos to life. And once again, thank you to all our Patreon pledgers who have been supporting us throughout the years. Without you, we wouldn't be able to convert all your pledges into cryptocurrency, so thank you from my future self for making us rich.